on your experience with the Capital Area Teen Court.
Well, first, Capital Area Teen Court is a diversion program, and it is for youth 11 through 9 through 17 who have committed their first offense. Offenses include possession of marijuana, first offenses include possession of marijuana, physical assault, and a fray. So instead of them having to go through district court or juvenile court, they are diverted into teen court where they are judged by a group of their peers who are all like while in the courtroom, everybody is a youth except for the judge. And when they are sentenced to however many community service hours, jury duties, and a rehabilitation program that will allow them to think about their actions, and the consequences of their actions. Now, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, 2 million people are currently incarcerated. Of that 2 million, 40 to 75% are African American. I feel like it is my duty to help reduce these numbers and to help the youth create a better, successful, and productive life for themselves. I will do this through my own personal program known as ACE. The A in A stands for action, meaning to become active in my community through programs such as Teen Court. The C stands for compassion, to show compassion to that youth so that they will know the consequences of their action. And the E is for education, because everybody should know that knowledge is power, and I feel like every youth should know how our judicial system operates. Thank you.
Next up, we have contestant number 2, Miss Hall.
Girl.
Good evening, Miss Hall. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Could you please tell us about your service platform?
Sure. My service platform is Pageant Smiles, which is an NCSU-based program. Basically what we do, a group of pre-dental students go to local elementary schools and we talk to kindergartners about oral hygiene and good dietary habits. The reason that I chose this program is because I love kids and I love teeth. And basically, I want to go into pediatric dentistry. So by doing this, I already get that experience that I'm going to need to advance me in my careers. I get to work with children and teach them about good habits, how to keep their teeth clean. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have contestant number 3, Miss Alexis Teasdale. Hello, Miss Alexis. Could you please expound on your service platform, please?
Yes, sir, I can. I am currently a volunteer at the Washington Boys and Girls Club near campus. It's a program that provides after-school care for students around the Raleigh area. I participate in Torch Club, which is where students from grades 6 through 8 come together and they learn how to enrich themselves through leadership and development. Originally, the program started as me being vice president of the Association of African American Student Educators. And it was just a role that I had in that position. As time went on, I grew to love these kids and learn so much from them. It almost feels like I'm cheating by having this platform because every day I go there and I'm thinking, I had a long day, I've been here, I've been there. But when I work with those students, I grow so much. They learn from me. I learn from them, but they learn from me. Right now we're reading through the book Gifted Hands by Ben Carson, and we're learning how to connect their personal life to career development as well as to literary terms so they can succeed in the classroom as well as outside the classroom and make those connections. Like, once again, I've grown more from them than they've grown from me, and it's an outstanding opportunity.
Ben Carson.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Monique Bonds will speak on her experience with Feed the Pack.
Hello, my experience with Feed the Pack. Feed the Pack is a food pantry here at NC State and is actually a fairly new initiative as it just opened last year, November 14th. Its purpose is to serve as a resource to faculty, students, and staff who may battle food insecurity, which is not having an adequate access to healthy, nutritious food on a daily basis. My involvement with Feed the Pack stems from a series of experiences. The first is my own experience with food insecurity. I've always been a leader in my school, and to be a leader needs strength. And NC State is full of leaders, so it's important that students, faculty, and staff have the adequate strength that they need by being able to have food. So the pantry is a choice pantry where they can come in and pack their own bags for food. And if they do need additional resources, we do provide them with those resources, such as a bigger food bank, or if they, may battle hunger and homelessness, and give them resources of how they can be reached, because that is something that we are unable to do at the time, but we do care for them. So far, the pantry has had over 4,000 pounds of food donated as of November up until this day, which is amazing. And one of the biggest reasons, aside from that, for me getting involved, is in mention of my nonprofit earlier. Aside from providing the assisted therapy to dogs, I will also provide nutrition education in low-income communities to help combat hunger. And overall, my role now with Feed the Pack is to be an advocate for hunger on the university campus. Thank you.
Next up, we have contestant number 5, Miss Chelsea Holiday. Good evening, Miss Holiday. Miss Holiday, if you would, please expound on your service platform.
Well, my service platform is working with Urban Ministries of Wayne County. And what we do at Urban Ministries is we provide services to people who otherwise couldn't afford them. So our clients are able to come, they're able to visit a physician, they're able to go to the pharmacy, they're able to have access to a food bank, and they're able to get resources to help them if they're unemployed. Now, my job is working along with a pharmacist as a pharmacist assistant. And as a future pharmacist, I love that I'm able to work with someone who shares the same career as I aspire to have. And it's so empowering to see that people who don't have to feel insecure about how they are going to get adequate health care. This service platform is very important to me because I feel as though that adequate health care for all people is very important, no matter what your economic status is. And something that's particularly close to my heart is the issue of diabetes. And diabetic medication can run extremely high amounts of money. I remember seeing my mother and her brothers and sisters having to take turns to pay for my grandmother's diabetic medication, just because the cost was so high. So that's just something that's really close to my heart. It's something that I'm passionate about. It's something that I love learning about. It's something that I love teaching and talking about. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holiday. Next up, we will have Ms. Danielle Wright. Could you please tell us a little more about your service platform, Ms. Wright?
Surely. My service platform is based off of Jack and Jill of America. I was first introduced to this organization my junior year of high school when I moved to Gastonia, North Carolina. My senior year of high school, I was appointed president of the Gastonia Piedmont chapter. And with this responsibility, it taught me leadership skills as well as communication skills. And it made me see how big of an impact I was on the younger people watching me, as well as the adults that watch me as well. The influence that I simply had from coming to meetings and running meetings and being the president was a huge responsibility. And being able to teach leadership skills to younger kids through Girl Scouts of America or Boy Scouts or things that, you take for granted, it's a great opportunity. And in my life, I was definitely exposed to two very strong women who taught me being a leader and standing up and having a voice is definitely something that you can cherish. My stepmother, in the beginning of February, was diagnosed with breast cancer. And when I look at her today, she is a survivor. She's strong. She is a leader. She's someone that I look up to because when the doctors told her that she couldn't, she did. Regardless of all the obstacles, she overcame. That is a leader to her family, to her friends, to her daughter. These are definitely skills that I want to teach and be able to continue to expand on when it comes to people who are younger than me and even older than me. So that's my platform through Jack and Jill of America. Thank you.
Thank you. And last but most certainly not least, we have contestant number 7, Miss Ashley Shaw. Good evening, Miss Shaw. How are you?
Good evening.
If you would, could you please tell us about your experience with interactive weight counting?
I definitely can. First off, I can tell you that's something I'm very passionate about. At the agency Interactive Weight Counting, I volunteer there working with survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. This is something I'm very passionate about, as I've mentioned before. I'm so passionate about it that I've actually been there for 2 years volunteering there. Some of my jobs that I've done while I volunteered there is I was a hospital responder, which I actually currently am now. And basically for that job, I go directly to the hospital and I sit with the survivor who, has gone through this traumatic experience, and I just let her know that everything is going to be okay, or him know, it doesn't have to be a she. Let him or her know that everything is going to be okay. I sit with them through what's called the rape kit process, and I let them know things that may happen or not to be afraid, just to keep them from getting nervous. Another position that I also held at Interactive Weight County is a crisis line counselor. This is one of the positions that I feel like that has touched my heart the most, is because I have a direct impact in helping people actually escape situations that they feel they can't escape themselves. I sit on the lines for 4 hours once a week, and I receive calls, and I give resources. Interact focuses on